Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 754, and today's topic is the history of opium and heroin part 2. So I am discussing still the opium, heroin and morphine. Unless we discuss the history, this chapter is incomplete because it has long history, and we have not only World War I and World War II, but there was Opium War I and Opium War II. Opium War was in 1839 and Opium War II was in 1956. But before that, I am going to just give date-wise the very interesting history of poppy plant and opium. The history goes like that, they trace that in 5500 BC, they found some opium poppy in the caves of Spain. So it indicates that by 5050 BC, they were using poppy. The opium plant is called poppy. And then in 3400, they found that Egyptians were cultivating it. It means that they started cultivating this plant, a opium plant that was in Egypt. And in 460 BC, Hippocrates, they mentioned that they were thinking that it has some magic in this plant because of sedative effect. But they mentioned that no, it is not like that, it contains narcotic. And then in 330, the Alexander Great, he brought and introduced this poppy plantation in India. And in 1000 AD, Avicenna, that is Persian great physicist, and his name was Abu Ali Sina, but in Western countries he is known as Avicenna, and he was from Iran, and he wrote a book, Canon of Medicine. In that he has mentioned the opium use, and he mentioned that opium is good for your stomach problem, constipation and diarrhea. So from there, in 1500, Portuguese from Portugal, they started exporting opium to China. And then in 1600, the British, 1603, around that, the Queen Elizabeth ordered the purchase of opium on mass scale or in large quantity, and by 1628 and 30s, Britain became one of the biggest opium commodity business in the world. And then in 1700, around that time, the Iran, India and China started using and eating this opium in the form of mixture, and lot of people started becoming addicted. And by that time, the British invaded India, and by 1750, all the cultivation of opium was under the control of British government, and it was the biggest business of the world, very lucrative business. And then slowly what happened in 1839, the biggest consumer of opium was China, and lot of opium was exported to China by European countries. And China brought legislation that now only Chinese can do the business, and foreigners were asked to leave China. So in that condition, that was the first war. Opium War 1. And the British government sent the warship, and there was war. China lost the war, and in that war, Opium War, China lost Hong Kong. So British captured the Hong Kong. It was in Opium War 1. And then the second Opium War started in 1856, and it went up to 1858 with France. So British and French, they joined together and they fought China because they wanted to press China to allow 4,000 to 5,000 metric ton of opium to be imported there. And in that again, China lost the war and they were successful. So the 4,000 to 5,000 metric ton of opium was allowed to import in China. And then by 1800 in the beginning, the Germans, they were successful to identify the active principle, and that was morphine. And so the commercially, the E-Merck company of Germany started producing morphine. So on commercial basis, morphine came into market globally. And then again in late 1800, around 1892-93, the Bayer's company of Germany, because at that time in 1800 and 1900, Germans were very, very fine scientists in pharmaceuticals. So it was German's company Bayer was successful to do the acetylation of morphine. So once the 2-hydroxy group of morphine was acylated, and they could get the synthetic, or we can say semi-synthetic product, and that was heroin. And when heroin came into market by 1903 and up to 1923, lot of research publications are there on morphine, and the whole world was thrilled with this morphine. Lot of medicinal properties and lot of uses, and millions of the people started becoming addicted of morphine, because morphine became very, very popular. Before that, it was cocaine, which was isolated from coca leaf. And this, all this heroin was supplied, and they started manufacturing very good, this heroin in Europe and especially in Colombia. And the opium was supplied from Afghanistan. And when in 1980s, Afghanistan was invaded by Russia, that is Soviet Union at that time. And at that time, Afghanistan was on peak because their warlords, the mafia group of drug of Afghanistan, they started producing on mass scale in large quantity because it was very lucrative business in 1980s. But when in 2000, Mullah Omar government came in Afghanistan, and he stopped all the cultivation, and within that period from 80 to 2000, within 20 years time, America tried that they should stop cultivation, and even he started giving compensation of $300 to $400 per hectare, but it was not successful because these Afghanis, they collected the money and at the same time secretly they were producing. Anyhow, then by 1972, the Colombian, you know that Colombia is the country where they have the best laboratories and factories to manufacture all this heroin, cocaine, all these narcotics. So by 1972, large quantity of heroin was supplied to America, and American gangsters, they joined this business. So it was very lucrative business, and by 90s, all those American gangsters, they were benefiting with this business a lot. They joined the international mafia group, drug group. And by 95, the 4 countries were involved. It was identified by UNO. And these countries were Mexico, Nigeria, Colombia, and Afghanistan. And Nigeria was the transit camp, means once they were bringing the heroin, or we can say opium, from Afghanistan or from India, and this was the place where they will keep, and from there it was distributed to Mexico, Colombia and America, other places, up to 1995. And then it was in 2004, UNO declared Afghanistan is the biggest producer of heroin and cocaine, this opium. And today, for your kind information, this business is going on, that is called heroin business. It's very lucrative business, in spite of the fact that lot of capital punishment is there, heavy punishment is there, they are putting behind the bar for, that is life imprisonment. Still, the millions of the people, especially the rich, super rich people, they are consuming, and every year there is increase in the demand up to 5,000 metric ton of opium. So this business will continue, and this opium business we cannot stop. And that's why I thought, let me give all the historical background with that. Some dates I cannot remember each and every date. So I'm going to write so that at least our coming generation should know this Opium War 1 and Opium War 2, and how the heroin was synthesized. And the name of the plant was given in 1800, the botanical name, and that is means the it means that is sleeping plant, and so many forum means sleeping. It was mentioned there. Sorry. And now I am going to give all the details about this, and you will be surprised to know that in 1800, Britain was having the monopoly of supply of opium globally, and East India Company was super rich in that, because East India Company finally started ruling India, and India was colonized by Britain after establishing East India Company. And that opium business brought such a huge amount of money that they could capture the country, and then they also captured the whole business. They were having monopoly of all opium production in the world, East India Company. And Britain was the biggest gainer. That's why they entered in Opium War in 1839 and 1856. And China was loser. China lost Hong Kong. It was because of Opium War 1. So I'm going to give all the dates one by one. So since opium, and when I say opium means the products are morphine and heroin out of it. And it has very interesting history. It has lot of social, political impact, economic impact, even the war. So it has lot of, impact on human beings. They became addicted. They are addicted even today. That's why for our future generation, we must know the history, and again, maybe after 100 to 200 years, some other twist of history may come. They may synthesize some other product out of opium. So here I have already mentioned, but I am going to give exactly date-wise here, so that Those who are interested in the history of opium and heroin, they can copy down. It is for pharmacy and chemistry students. It's a very interesting topic of alkaloid. In BC 5500, capsules of opium was found in the Spain, and that indicated that they have the history started from 5500 BC. Then in 3400 they found that Egyptians were cultivating, and again in 460 BC Hippocrates rejected that it is a magical plant because it was having sedative effects. So they said that no, it is a natural product and it is a narcotic. Then in 3300 BC, Alexander the Great, he brought and introduced the opium in Indian people. Then in 1000 AD, Avicenna, a Persian great physician, that is, his name was Abu Ali Sina. He mentioned in his book Canon of Medicine the medicinal use for stomach disorder and diarrhea. Then in 1500, Portuguese, they started exporting the Indian opium on mass scale to China in large quantity. And then by 1600, China, India and Iran, they started eating and drinking of poppy extract, and they became addicted. So addiction started in these three countries, India, China and Iran. That was in 1600. Then in 1606, it became good business. So Queen Elizabeth first instructed the purchase of all opium in large quantity. And then from 1620 to 1637, the opium became main commodity of British trade in China. So at that time it was multi-billion trade business of British with China. That is the export of opium to China. That was from 1620 to 1637. And then in 1700, Dutch started exporting the opium, that is Indian opium, to China. And then in 1700, actually in China in 1700, addiction started, and millions of Chinese, they became addicted, and they started smoking opium, and it was a serious social problem in China in 1700. Then by 1729, opium smoking was prohibited. It was illegal in China. This legislation was introduced in 1729. And in 1753, the botanical name was given to this plant, and it was named Papaya somniferum. And this papaya means sleep, somniferum means inducing. So sleep inducing, and that name came, botanical name came in 1753. And in 1773, now opium became medicinal plant and in the world. And in 1793, the British East India Company had monopoly of all opium production in the world. So in 1793, East India Company monopolized all the business of opium, and by that time they captured, and India was colonized by British. So in this opium big business or lucrative business, up to 1940, British earned billions, multi-billions of dollars in trade, but after World War II, their monopoly was lost. So here, and number two, in the year 1800, British company purchased all the opium coming from Europe and Turkey. Then in 1803, Germans discovered the active alkaloid in opium. And then in 1827, E. Merck is a company, is a drug company. And let me tell you, at that time, Germany was having very good laboratories and also good scientists, chemists, especially the chemists in natural product, plant chemistry. Even today, Germany, Japan and India, they are well known in plant products. So this E. Merck company begins commercial manufacture of morphine isolated from opium by importing the opium that was from India and Turkey. And in 1800, India and Turkey, they were the biggest supplier of opium. Even today, 80% of the opium globally is exported by India in millions of tons. I have already mentioned that thing. And then on 18th March 1839, 18th March 1839, the opium war started with China, and British sent its warship because Chinese, they prohibited the business of foreigners in opium. So it was in 1839 Chinese ordered to surrender all opium trade by foreigners, and British sent the warship to China, beginning of first opium war. And in 1841 Chinese were defeated, and the opium war, and Hong Kong was captured by British. So China lost Hong Kong in 1941 in Opium War 1, and it was annexed to Britain. And in 1995 again it was given the sovereignty, and it was taken by China. Then in 1856 British and French again renewed the opium war second, and this opium war second was because China was reluctant to import thousands of metric tons of opium from Europe. So French and British jointly, they attacked China and to force China to import, and China lost the war, and China was forced to import 4,000 metric ton of opium from Europe. So British and French renewed the second opium war with China, and China lost the war and was asked to import 4,810 metric ton of opium from them. Then in 1895, and again breakthrough came, and where the Bayer's company, again in Germany, was successful to synthesize heroin by acetylation of 2-hydroxy group of morphine. And it was a big news globally that new product has come and it has lot of medicinal value. But later on, today even millions are addicted to heroin. It became curse rather than medicine. So in 1895, heroin was synthesized by Bayer company by acetylation of morphine. Then from 1902 to 1906, within this 4 years time, China has 20 million addict of the opium, and we are consuming 40,000 metric ton of opium a year. So actually, in whole opium business, production, consumption, only these countries were involved in consumption, like Iran, China and India. But severely effect was in China, because China was big country in terms of population, and immediately lot of Chinese became addicted to opium. That's why opium was very serious issue for Chinese for hundreds of years. And then year, and in 1930, the majority of the illegal heroin was smuggled to USA from China. In 1940, during World War II, opium trade was blocked from British, and in this way, British lost its opium monopoly globally. So globally, British they lost their monopoly, multi-billion business. It was after World War II. So here I have done the literature review of the history of opium. So our future generation, even present generation, should know that our great grandparents, how they were involved in such type of opium, morphine, heroin business and consumption. And it is the history of opium and heroin part 2. Number 3, in 1945, when British lost World War II and Burma got independence, and then Burmese started producing on mass scale the opium, and Burma became the first in world, and lot of opium was exported from Burma. The Burma gained independence from Britain at the end of the World War II. After that, opium business flourished in Burma. In 1972, USA gangsters dominate the heroin market. So in 1972, big gang war was there in New York, in USA and Chicago, to dominate the business of multi-billion business of heroin, and which was supplied from mainly Colombia and some other European countries and Turkey. So the heroin and market, and through their connection with mafia group in Italy, and heroin was easily available in New York. So with this mafia connection and the gangsters in USA, they were connected and they were having very big business and very powerful. It was very difficult to deal with them. Then in 1980, Afghanistan was invaded, and once it was invaded by then Soviet Union, again the cultivation of poppy started on large scale, and the business was flourishing in Afghanistan from 1980 to 2000. And when that was in 1992, Colombia drug lord introduced high-grade heroin into USA market. So by that time, Colombia is country is very expert in narcotic, we can say, crystallization and its production and improving the quality. So high-grade heroin was produced by Colombians, and it was sent to America illegally. And again, new marketing started there, and lot of gangsters, mafia group, they were all involved, because it was very, very lucrative business. Not was, even today, it is a very lucrative business. But globally, internationally, there is some agreement and understanding that it is a very tough legal laws are there, and it is very difficult to trade this heroin nowadays. And then in that was November 1996, in international drug mafia, including China, Colombia, Mexico and Nigeria, were marketing heroin into USA. So in November 1996, these countries were identified that they are the main supplier through world networking to America, and these countries were first number China, second Colombia, third Mexico and Nigeria. Nigeria was a transit place. What they were receiving from China, Afghanistan and India, and then it was processed in Colombia and Mexico, and then it was delivered to America. So in the year 2000, when Taliban leader came and Soviet invasion was over, so the Mullah Umar prohibited the production and cultivation of opium in Afghanistan. Then in the year 2001, Pakistan was flooded with heroin. So once it was prohibited, then in 2001, Pakistan was the main center of heroin to smuggle. From Pakistan, a lot of heroin was smuggled in 2001. And after that, October 2002, UNO office on drug announces Afghanistan the world's largest producer of opium. So they found that in 2002, the largest opium smuggling and production was done by Afghanistan through Pakistan. And in up to 2002 onward, the Afghanistan and Pakistan, they were the main supplier of opium and heroin globally. And now, in the year 2020, means today, when I am delivering this lecture, as estimated today, globally there are millions of heroin and opium users. It has not stopped. Millions are using, and it's a big business even today, multi-billion dollar business. In spite of the fact that very strict international legislation is there, punishment is there, capital punishment is there, but still people are doing because of its lucrative business and income. So users, and it is expected that 5,000 metric ton production of opium every year to be added to meet today's demand. So as per today's demand, every year they have to increase 5,000 metric ton of opium production. Only then these millions of users demand can be met. So this is about the whole opium history, Opium War 1 and Opium War 2, and lot of social, political discussion date-wise. And let all the students who are in pharmacy and chemistry, let them copy down this literature review. So after going through a lot of literatures and publications, I could collect these informations. So my request to my students in pharmacy and chemistry, please share your lecture number 754 among yourself, so that you can get the knowledge. With this I will stop. Thank you very much for watching the lecture.